Hi friends, it's Carly and I'm back again with another review. I'd like to thank everybody who joined me for my live stream toy haul last Friday. It was my second one and I was able to improve a lot off of my first one, I think. And thanks to your comments and your contributions during the stream, I think the next one will be even better. So I want to thank you guys so much for being there, and I had two main takeaways from that live stream. Number one, as far as the retailer I was talking about that I originally ordered Destro from, you guys guessed it, you know who it is. I'm still not going to name them in this video, but I definitely want to talk more about that. So I think I might do another live stream where I get a little bit more in depth on that topic, because I've learned a lot more since Friday and I plan to do more research and find out even more to talk about. So that's a topic coming up. And number two, you guys want to see Destro. So I am super excited to say, as you know from my toy haul, that I got him in hand, and today we are going to be finally looking at Destro. So this was the figure that I most wanted to pick up when the Classified series dropped to be my one that I reviewed. I wasn't, as I said in the past, sure how this line was going to go over. In the beginning, we weren't sure if they were going to be super popular, if they were going to come out great, we didn't know. So my plan was to hit the store, pick up one, and see how I felt about it, and then go from there. Well, obviously that was a mistake. They were hugely popular. They've been so difficult to come by, and they're fantastic. And I picked up Snake Eyes originally because they did not have a Destro. So I have him in hand now. It took forever. I have an order still out for one, so I may honestly do a giveaway because these are so difficult to come by. Stay tuned for that. But today we're just going to go ahead and talk about him. And I'm going to say right off the bat, right off the top, that this is my favorite figure in the Classified series. And the reason that I want to say that at the beginning rather than sort of winding up and getting to it at the end is because he is the culmination of everything that I've talked about so far. So with the two roadblocks, with Scarlet, with Duke, and with Snake Eyes, this figure perfectly executes everything that I've talked about that I loved and corrects all of the things that I didn't love. So I have to say that if you haven't got your hands on a Destro, really try to find a reliable retailer to pre-order from. And BBTS has been the best for me so far. I'm going to include a link in the description. But if you haven't got him yet, you want him, I promise. So let's go through and just talk about all of the ways that this Destro sort of characterizes the best of the G.I. Joe Classified series. So the first thing that I want to talk about is his overall design. And we will do the nitty gritty, but I really want to encompass all of the main points, and then we'll do the finer details. But when you look at this character design, there is literally no question about who this is, and his costume makes sense. Everything about him, every part of this figure makes sense for the character that we know and love. Now, for the most part, I've really liked the costumes, but a lot of, there have been some issues, and a lot of fans have felt like they were a little bit too bright. There's some impractical elements. There are elements that are sci-fi that don't really seem to fit in the universe, and having two roadblocks at the same time was a little bit confusing. The designs on each of them having some questionable points. On Destro, there's none. So all of those issues are corrected with him. If there were going to be a model for this line, Destro can be what you should hope to expect from all of the future figures and iterations that we see. His costume is absolutely perfect. Now, I've got him posed here with his accessories in hand. So let's take a look at those accessories really quick. We've had some really great accessories with Duke and Scarlet, and we've had some that were a little bit questionable, i.e. roadblocks, two same weapons just painted differently, and a knife that didn't quite work perfectly on Snake Eyes. Destro's accessories are actually perfect. So he has got this pistol. It is shiny and gold, and we know that this is sort of a preview of what we can expect to get with the gold sort of Pimp Daddy Destro that's coming up. I have him pre-ordered, and I'm really excited to have him now. Then he also has this gun. It's sort of like a SMG maybe, I don't know. Well, no, it's not because it has a scope, so it's a rifle of some kind, but Very good looking, detail painted all the way into every nook and cranny of this gun, and it's sturdy and nice looking. So the guns are excellent. Those are the two that he has. He wears the pistol in a hip holster here, which is great. Actually, it's a thigh holster, but it works great, and the color scheme on that is on point. Then he also has this tactical briefcase, which has his little computer in it, and then also his money. So this is something that we're going to be seeing in the alternate version of Destro coming up. There are a few more additional items that come with this, but this is a really good looking accessory, you guys. I love the detail put into it. It reminds me so much of the cartoon from when I was a kid. And as you saw, he held it in his hand effortlessly. It has the Cobra emblem on the front, and it has a nice, like, sort of leathery look to it. So I was really excited about these accessories. On the back here, we have the embossed shiny black Cobra. On the front, it's painted. They all look really, really good. He is also, this is something we can look forward to, wearing this awesome gold chain. So right off the bat, the look of everything and the accessories works really, really well for me. Then when we're getting into all of the points of articulation, I discovered some new things that I think I may have noticed on Snake Eyes and not on others, but I went back through and found that it's present on all of the figures. And we'll start with that. It is in the shoulder, there is like a joint. It's a butterfly joint, but it's not the type that they do on Marvel Legends that starts in the middle of the spine and spreads across the shoulder so you can put the arms way back and way forward. It's a really gentle, here's the socket right here, and that socket can sort of gently be rolled back and forward like this. So you get a very slight sort of opening of the shoulders and closing that is not like over the top dramatic, but has a lot of functionality. So these shoulders are even better than I realized they were on all of the other figures that I have, and I went through and checked, and they all have this feature. So it's a really sort of like, I don't know, I'm still gonna call it a butterfly joint. That's probably what it is. If it's something else, let me know. But it's just a really subtle piece right here that allows you a little bit of additional movement forward and back in the shoulders for additional highly articulate posing. The head and mask are perfect. We've got the grommets down here around the neck, and the facial sculpt on this really is perfect to me. If you guys have been looking at my Facebook page lately, I've been sharing some, over the last couple days I had some technical difficulties. I wanted this video to go up yesterday, and then I had problems and I had to redo it. So I have been sharing some classic Real American Hero gifs, and there are two of Destro that I've shared. Go check them out. But this looks just like him. It's just a really good facial sculpt. The silver pops. It is shiny, and it's perfectly executed. I really, really love the way that it looks. I love the high Cobra collar here. Obviously, the colors are perfect, and we get great movement in the head. We still get a really expressive, you know, range of motion in the head with this collar. So it's a really great look and very articulate. So that's excellent for me. Now moving down into the shoulders, we can start to look also at the elements of his costume. There is a texture worked into this figure in a couple of different places. So right here on the shoulders there, but it's all black. So rather than using high gloss or mattified sort of finish on the figure, they actually use textures to sort of create depth and armor and different elements to his costume. And it's really, really effective. It just feels so much more realistic than some of those over-the-top pieces that we were talking about on the other figures. Now, while I still really love the way the other figures look, I understood a lot of those criticisms from longtime fans, and with Destro, I just don't think anybody's gonna have any complaints. His design looks practical and perfect, and it suits the characters. There's nothing that's gonna be preventing him from doing his work. And also he just looks really cool and scary like he should. So We have great articulation here in the shoulders. We have a good lateral lift. Now, the second point, before I get all into the articulation, is that, before I get into each individual point, is that this figure is the best next to Snake Eyes, which Snake Eyes was the best of all of the articulate points, just because he was so smooth and fluid, because he's a ninja and he needs to be. Destro has everything that Snake Eyes has, and it works perfectly. So we have a great turn here in the shoulder. We have a turn in the bicep that is smooth and easy to use. We have great double jointed elbows here. And a turn in the wrist. And then these wrists go up and down like this. That's usually the case when there's a larger weapon to manipulate. So the points of articulation are great there. And then again, I'll just show you the sockets for these butterfly joints that go forward and back, open and close like this. It's subtle, but it allows for a lot. Then we have the nice movement in the abdomen. He bends forward, the ab crunch as everybody calls it. He gets a nice, I like to call it a bow. I don't know, it just seems more appropriate to me. The bow forward and lean back. He has a great turn in his waist. And this is what really reminds me of Snake Eyes, is the perfect lateral lift in the hips. We have the drop down hips that I learned about before I did Duke, which was so great. So I know that we've got those and they work perfectly. We do have a thigh turn. He does have a thigh holster on his right thigh. So that's not the most practical thing there, but it does work perfectly on the left side. And we've got really great knees that bend all the way. And I had a question last time. Oh, let's go ahead and show the boot turn. Somebody was asking me about the ankle pivot. I believe that's what they were asking me about. There was a typo. But I realized that I've been so used to the feet on these Hasbro toys working perfectly the way that I want them to, which is kind of always what I say. So when I get down to that point of articulation, I'm always like, and feet and ankles that work the way that they're supposed to. So yes, there is a pivot ankle. So we've got the pivot point in the center here, and they will turn side to side like this all the way around. Then we've got a bend that goes all the way back like this, and all the way forward with the toe pointed up a little bit. So yes, there's a full range and pivot in the ankle. Sorry I haven't been more in depth about that. As I'm making my videos, I'm realizing not everybody is gonna see every single one, so I really need to go over all of those things. But yes, the feet and ankles have been amazing on all of the Hasbro toys recently, so I've been really happy with them. I never have any complaints with how they work or how they look. So from top to bottom for me, from design, paintwork, costume, and points of articulation, the best of everything that I've loved about the Classified series is really sort of encompassed in Destro. And add to that the fact that he's just a really awesome character, and you get who he is by looking at this. There is a possibility that if you had Duke or Cobra Island Roadblock or even Scarlet just arbitrarily handed to you, that it might not necessarily read G.I. Joe, and that could be a real issue for longtime collectors and classic fans. When you're selling these figures as G.I. Joe classified figures, you know, when they're branded that way, we need to be able to see and know who they are, and you could mistake those for other characters. Destro, you absolutely could not. There are upgrades, there, you know, modern sort of updates to maybe some of the elements of his costume, but overall, not overall, completely. You know who this is. You could never mistake him for anyone else. And I'd really like to see that kind of effort and consideration. I know that he's a distinct looking character, so that's part of it, but also the design work from the neck down is spot on. With Snake Eyes, we got that 100%. He's also a distinct looking character, but we got that from the top down. I think maybe the next best is Duke, but the point of the story is that we know they can do it. They can capture the essence of the original series and comic books and all of these characters we know and love. So I'd really like to see that go on in the coming lines. which I still have none of yet. So I'm still on the hunt, still working on getting them, but I feel like this is a really good start. And for me, this is the culmination of the line so far. Destro is the best figure. He is the most cohesive. He is the most highly articulate, most, effective, highly articulate figure, I think. And I'm going to put him on the same page with Snake Eyes because they have the same points of articulation. And I'm just really, really happy with him. So when we're looking to the future, this is the standard I want to see. And they did a really good job of mostly making these points of articulation uniform. So for Scarlet, usually it's with the smaller framed female figures that we start to lose points. With her, all we really lost was a really deep ab crunch, like deep bow, forward and back. She does have a slight one, but she didn't have a waist, so she turned in the abdomen, and we lost the turn in the bicep. But we did have the butterfly movement in her. So that's the first time I've seen that in a female figure. I think they're making really great strides with these, is what I'm trying to say, and I can't wait to find out what's coming in the future. I can't wait to get my hands on the rest of them, and I just hope that they're all as good as Destro, because this was one that it was so worth it. I sort of am not even frustrated about the experience of finding him anymore, because he's just 100% one of the best figures of the year for me. So that is that on Destro. If you guys are interested in me doing a giveaway with my second Destro, when and if he ever arrives, let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you feel like I'm right, if you feel like this is one of the best figures in the series, and if it really is true to Destro, not just because of his obvious mask, but because of everything about him. I want to know what you guys are thinking of the ones that you're finding, and if you have any hunt recommendations for me to, any tips or strategies for me to like hit a store on a particular day where maybe they're stocking and I might be able to find an exclusive. I've been looking everywhere, and I'll take all the help I can get. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please make sure to like and share and turn on your notifications. I will be doing another video on Friday. We'll be doing a review. We're going to be taking a look at something that came as a surprise and I'm really excited about. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you had a great Labor Day weekend, and I hope you have a great week. I will see you soon with another one. Bye, friends.